What's up? You're watching Poots Garage. This week is not about working on the truck. We need to make some improvements to this shop. I'm just really tired of, the clutter and stuff that's building up around here, so we need to actually focus on the shop just a little bit here. So let's see what we got going on. Previously, I talked about how we did add a sink finally. I don't think I've really talked about this too much, but we did add a sink. It's got a little pedestal to get it up high enough for the flow of the drain and all that good stuff. Then we went through and we added some shelves, or not shelves, cabinets, so we got some little extra storage to hide things a little better. Kind of makes things a little better. See, we got a lot of clutter going on still, but we're getting there. I went through and organized these shelves a little bit, not a whole lot. I kind of pulled some stuff out. I actually sold a few things, which was really cool. Made a few $100 and got rid of a few things out of here, but a lot of the stuff actually needs to go away, like completely out of the garage. It just doesn't need to belong in here. So I got 3 things I want to complete this video. Okay, I'm not going to do this video. 2 of them I'm going to try and do this video. Third thing's kind of big. So the third thing I have that I'm not going to do this video though is I have a metal shed in that box right there. I need to get that shed up, but to put that shed up, I need to build a floor for it outside. So I need to go spend a couple $100 in lumber and build a nice solid floor to put it on. And then I can get half of this junk out of here. It can go in a shed. It doesn't need to be in here to begin with. But for this video, we're going to focus first on this welding cart. I need to modify this welding cart to make it a little bit better and actually give me a little bit of storage on the cart itself. And then after that, we're going to modify our workbench itself back there. I want to get rid of that crossbar across the front because it just gets in the way of trying to put anything under it. But first, I want to work on this welding table. Bench. Nope, not even a bench or table. The welding cart. Let's work on that. So when I bought this welder, I bought this cart with it, and there's a lot of problems with it. I mean, it holds the welder fine. It's actually just a hair small for this welder. It doesn't really sit into the little tray. It should. But we have 2 things. One is it has no storage. That shelf on the bottom is too low. It gets dirty. I'm not putting anything down there because I'll never find it if I put it under there. So it's useless. So I've been putting stuff on top, but it's not much of a shelf. Things always fall off and whatnot. So there's pretty much no storage on this. And 2, it only fits 1 of my bottles. Almost has room for 2, but it doesn't quite fit 2. It's pretty much designed for 1 bottle. Maybe 2 smaller bottles? I don't know. But I have a second bottle there. One is TIG, one is MIG welding. I want to get both the bottles on here. So to increase our storage and get our bottles on there, we're pretty much going to completely modify this little thing. Make it better. And that's why I bought this little tiny Craftsman cabinet. This is the cheapest tool cart you can pretty much buy. I know everybody's probably seen these or even had them, but these are extremely cheap, $120 or something like that. It came with this, and it actually came with the top part too, but that's on the bench now, and it's used for storage on the bench. That works out pretty good there. But this is what we're gonna focus on. Only problem with this is, well, the dimensions are perfect. I actually wanted one of these extremely cheap ones just for the dimensions. The width is perfect, and the length is perfect for basically the welder. To where if I were to buy one of these little bit bigger, nicer ones, these ones are a lot more sturdy, can handle a lot more weight, but they're just too big. They're a lot wider. Now you're pushing around a full-size tool cart around your shop, versus this little guy, which is only like, what, 14 inches wide, I think. So these are perfect. Only problem is these are extremely cheap and they're extremely fragile. There's not much going on with them. So they do have cheap drawers. These drawers actually feel better than the old ones I used to have. They might have upgraded the slides just a hair. I've had one of these before, and they usually fall apart after a little while. My biggest worry is that welder is pretty heavy, and putting the welder on top of this, there's not a whole lot of structure to this thing to support it. I'm sure it's designed to hold, that, I don't know what that weighs, 50 pounds, 70 pounds, I don't know. I'm sure it's designed and it can hold it, but my worry is when I grab onto it to pull it, to move it around, to roll it around the shop, is this thing going to fold over on itself, collapse, get loose? Is it going to be all wobbly? So we're actually going to build a frame on the exterior. We're going to exo-cage this thing just to make it a little stronger. And yeah, we'll kind of show you as we go. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to take that cart. I'm going to cut everything off of it. I'm just going to use the bottom section, the wheels and everything. And I'm going to put this tool cart on there, weld it down with its little exo cage, and then we'll modify the back to be able to hold the 2 bottles. Then we'll have plenty of storage. Now another thing about this is I wanted one that had not only a couple drawers, at least 1 or 2 drawers, so I could put, hammers and clamps and stuff in there, and I wanted a big storage on the bottom. which these have. These have the big wide open section. This will fit your welding helmet, and this will all fit like the pedal for the TIG welder and stuff like that. I can finally put that away. So it kind of gives you an option to store some bigger items down here. Just like that, and then you can close it real quick and keep the dust off of it. See how well this thing fits on this new little tool cart. The width is perfect. This width is actually, I think, just a hair narrower than the cart over there. Not the wheels, but the cart itself. So it's the same width, which is perfect. Doesn't seem too wobbly yet. My biggest concern right now is when you put this on the top, this top piece, this top sheet metal just kind of like bows down. I mean, that's definitely weak. So we're definitely going to put something over the top of that also. And this is the old safety cart. This is, I bought this at the welding store that I bought this welder from. So it all kind of came together. These were fairly cheap. I don't remember what they cost, but it is pretty solid. It's worked pretty good for its intended purposes. So I was hoping to do this a little cheaper, but I ended up buying some brand new metal here. I bought a bunch of 3/4 angle iron. We got a couple flat pieces here, 1/8 inch, and then we got some 1/4 inch rod. All that, a couple 6-foot lengths and all this other stuff. Ended up costing over $100 from Lowe's. I'm sure Lowe's is not the best place to be buying this stuff, but it's just local. So I've been buying my metal from them. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a frame around the bottom for it to set on. And then we will basically do uprights on every corner using the angle iron. And we'll attach those with flat rod and make a halo around the top. And then we'll make some cross braces with that 1/4 inch rod just to really triangulate things and hopefully keep things from wanting to collapse in on themselves. Then my plan is to get a big piece of, I don't know, wood or anything else I might find that might work. And I'm not gonna use metal because it would just be too heavy. We'll use a flat piece on top, bam, like 3/4 inch or something. And then we'll be able to actually screw our top halo piece into the wood itself from multiple points, and it should be super solid and ready to rock. And we get to use our new bandsaw chop saw setup we got already. This is pretty cool. I've done like one test cut with it, so it's kind of exciting to be able to actually use it here for something important. So we will be able to cut with no mess, no smoke and fumes. So let's try it out. Much better. Check that out. I could never get a nice, clean, straight cut like that before. So now we got a nice little right to the edge, right to the corner. It's gonna fit up perfect. See how we made that fit up in there, butts up nice and tight. We'll make it square. We'll make it fit nice and tight to the toolbox. Both sides, yeah, I like this. The saw helps a lot already. I'm so glad I'm not using a cutoff wheel like I normally do. Basic frame welded up. It's just sitting on it. Fits nice and tight. Welds are grinded down smooth, so you can't really see nothing. Plus, you know, I didn't grind the welds down because my welds are ugly. I mean, they are. But I just didn't spend any time on them because I knew I needed to grind them down because it has to sit flush, so I knew they would have to be ground down on the bottom anyways. And I'm not going to weld the inside of the corners because that's just too hard to grind and make this thing fit inside of there, so we're not going to worry about that. So next we're just going to make our 4 uprights. Alright, we changed our mind. This is how it usually goes. So basically we're gonna weld this thing, this box completely. Where's my hand at? Why am I over here? Jeez. We're gonna weld this thing completely into itself. I just can't figure out a way to be able to move the box in and out as I need, plus to be able to add the supports that I want. So we're basically gonna weld it all the way around. I mean, I could just leave it the way it is. Maybe I will. Or I can paint the entire box. I might just leave it the way it is and yeah, not bad. We got the main frame all welded up, ground back down, and it all looks decent. It's all structural. All right, we got everything welded and grinded down. The external frame for the box is now done. It actually feels really solid. Didn't add too much weight, so that's good. See, we ended up just crossing each side with that 1/4 inch round. The only weird thing that happened was at the end there, this guy here popped out. Just due to all the shrinkage of everything, and it kind of popped out, but we're gonna be screwing that into something anyways, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. And the more I look at it, I really want to paint it here. I'm gonna have to, like, I don't know, get creative on painting and washing it back down, and kind of don't want to have to go through all that, but I should. I really should. Maybe I won't, we'll see. So next we got to start modifying the original cart here, cut it off, get that thing set on there, and actually weld it down to that so it'll be super strong. Pretty much all the thing we have to do then is modify where the tanks go. Glove. Ooh, that's not gonna look so good right there. Okay, gotta do something about that. Whew, it's getting hot out here. All right, so we got the cart cut down, and then we realized we were hanging over the edge a little too much there, so I cut the ends off. I cut this off of another piece that was previously removed. Now we're just gonna weld this on to extend it out, and then hopefully our toolbox will sit right on there, and then we can just weld the toolbox right down to it. Progress update. This is where we're at. We got that bottom cart all cut down, modified. The new cart, the new chest toolbox, whatever you want to call it, is now welded to the bottom. Everything is welded together. And then we made a lower plate here for our tanks. Ended up using my nice 1/4-inch plate that I was hoping not to use, but I ended up using it anyways just because I had nothing better. It was just the best way to do it. With this configuration, both tanks should fit side by side. So we're about to put those on, and then the last thing I have to figure out is actually strapping the tanks in securely. I didn't think about this, but where my the welder is going to sit on top, I need to make sure it's not going to want to slide. Almost there. We are done. We made this into a one-day project and we completed it. I was a little worried it would drag out, but we pulled through. So we got 2 tanks on now. We got the welder on top. It's attached. That cart is super strong now with all the extra structure all around it. We still maintained the factory casters from the old safety cart. And yeah, everything's working out real good. I like it a lot the way it is right now. So now we got our storage. I can throw my helmet under there for long-term storage. I can throw the TIG pedal and any other big things. Plus we have 2 drawers that we can start storing some, I don't know, C-clamps and hammers and different things that we might need for common welding stuff. So I'm pretty happy. I think the only thing I might want to do is maybe put a handle of some sort so I can drag it from down here instead of having to pull on the, I'm sure we'll find other little things in the future, like hooks to hang different little things on the outside of it now that we have some good strong pieces that we can weld to. But we did get a good attachment point for our chain. It's just what we did is we welded nuts to the structure there, and then yeah, just thread a bolt in, tighten it down till it bottoms out, and just give it a little and it ain't going nowhere. The bottom piece where the tanks are sitting, we added this little angle piece, which was kind of fun to make. It was straight, and I basically cut a big notch out at the bottom, loosened up a little bit in there with a little slit, and then just bent it closed again and welded it back up and put it down, and I think it actually looks really good. The weight balance on this thing seems really good. Most of the weight is on the rear wheels. Still has about probably 50 or 70 pounds on the front, so it's got most of the weight over the back, and it's got a little bit of weight on the front still, so it's not back heavy, front heavy. It's not gonna like tip over or anything like that. But yeah, now we got little drawers to keep some stuff. As long as we keep them crappy drawers together and they don't fall apart on us, then we'll be good to go. I think that's the end of this little project here. Next, we got to move to this bench. This isn't gonna be as in-depth. Literally all we're gonna do is this crossbar. It's very like in the way of everything, trying to put big things underneath there. So I'm actually going to take it off. We're going to cut it in half, and then we're going to weld it back up at an angle, which will actually help give this top piece a little extra support because it is a little bit of bounce. So having that triangulation there is going to support that top. Plus we'll have access underneath. Might add a little brace maybe just below it also to kind of tie everything together in up there. Underneath we'll be taking this piece off. That back one back there is actually, I can't tell right now, it's actually broken off already, so I'll re-weld that. And then we'll take this piece and probably just bring it back up to the top also to kind of give it some triangulation this way as well. So this thing will be a lot more sturdy, and I think it'll work out better so I can put some bigger things underneath it. I'm not always trying to go underneath or over the stupid crossbar that's just in the way. Hey, it's the 4th of July, and I just got done watching the, I was kind of surprised. I actually got to watch the 4th of July, my town, city, whatever, fireworks show from my driveway, and it was awesome. I didn't take any video. I actually did on my, I put it on Facebook, but I didn't think about pulling this camera out, getting a little bit, but nobody watches fireworks videos anyways. But I just thought it was super cool that I could actually see it from my driveway. It's the first time I've been home on the 4th of July, so it's kind of cool. I didn't have to go anywhere, so that was legit. So I just got to drink my White Claw out there and smoke a backwoods when I was done, and yeah, we're just chilling on the 4th of July. This is pretty nice. I like it. So I just thought I'd throw it out there. You know, make sure you follow me on Instagram for cool stuff you can see on there. I'm Pootacris on Instagram, Pootacris, kind of like ludicrous, but Pootacris. So yeah, check it out, and all right, let's get down to the next project. I'm so glad that welding cart is done. You can see it sitting behind us now against the wall. Nice compact package. So next, let's modify this workbench. I'm just going through these things that, you know, I've always wanted to do, and I just, you know, you don't want to waste your time doing things like this. You'd rather build cars and trucks and do cool stuff, but sometimes you just gotta get down and modify the stuff. So next we're gonna do this workbench. Like I said, we're gonna get rid of this lower structure piece and kind of just triangulate it off of it to make it just as strong as, it's actually gonna be stronger in my opinion. So let's get to that. Hopefully this will be a lot easier than that that welding cart. So far so good. We got the front piece cut off. I'm going to take some measurements and just make sure this thing is semi-level, as level as it can be with my floor that's not level. And then I did notice like these legs kind of went out a little bit, which I don't know if that was by design or if it's my floor, or if it's just under tension, or I mean it doesn't have a lot of weight on it that would be pushing it up. I don't know. We'll make sure it's squared up and whatnot when we put it back together. But yeah, all we gotta do now is separate these little pieces here and then cut it in half. We cut some 45s on the ends or whatever angles we need, and then just weld them back up. Crying out loud. Straight.
Ain't ready yet.
All right, we got the piece cut and we did an angle. We actually ended up moving it inboard, as you can see there, just because it's gonna have the same effect in there once I weld it all up in there, and it'll be behind there. So it'll actually give me a little bit more, knee room if I ever get a work stool or something out here. So you can see how that will triangulate the top and really open things up a little bit better there. I'm gonna go ahead and just burn this one in, and then I'll probably just do the whole thing and show you when I'm done. Getting smoky in here. Burning right through paint here, so I know I said I wasn't gonna come back, but I just thought it was interesting. Hey, you probably can't tell. It was like a layer of smoke just hanging out underneath the table here. But yeah, we got the first one welded in there. And we are done. Look at that. We got to use our new tool cart setup and it worked great. And now we have a little more access underneath the workbench. You can see we got a lot more usable space. You can see I added the cross piece up on top there, so it's even supporting underneath the bench, so it added a lot of support right to the middle where I work a lot. So that's perfect. That's what I need. So now I'm not worried about having too much weight right here. This bench is not perfectly flat, so it doesn't matter. But we're cool. I'm happy with this. This is going to be a lot easier to get things in and out. Now I can get to, I got a Ford 9-inch under there. That was for the old Fairlane I used to have. I got the 351 Cleveland block still under there. I think the center section for the 9-inch is over there under that tarp. So yeah, we got some access to stuff. Now I just need a Fairlane and drag this stuff out and put it all back together. All right, so we got those two things done. Thankfully, took 1.5 days to do. Not a big deal. Next, I need to get that shed together so I can get a bunch more of this crap out of this garage and clean things up even more. But I just don't want to spend last time I checked, it was, I forget how much. It was a lot of money in lumber just to build a floor like I wanted to build. So, I don't know, maybe I'll search around, see if I can find some cheap lumber, free stuff, and kind of piece it together a little bit more. Or, I know lumber prices are down a little bit too right now, so I don't know, we'll see. I just don't want to spend so much money. I just bought a tube notcher to go with the tube bender I'm waiting for. So I spent a lot of money on tools recently. I think next we do need to start working on this truck some more. I gotta get these bump stops done, so I'm gonna continue working on those. That's gonna be my next kind of goal project thing. And all right, well, until then, I will talk to you guys later. You're watching Poots Garage. Peace.